Hey everybody, this is Fumi from freespiritfumi.com and Black Women Moving On Facebook, and this is going to be a rather serious video, so let's get started. Okay, so a lot of you ladies are on my Facebook page, Black Women Moving On, and many of you are moving on. You're like, yeah, let's leave these issues. But if you are still a resident in the U.S., and I'm American, so I'm just speaking from my perspective, this is something that you need to think about realistically. If you are still here in the United States, if your children are still here, if you still plan on your children being here in the United States, whether you want to divorce yourself from the BC or not, whether you want to move on or not, your life is in danger. Your life is in danger. Your daughter's lives are in danger. Your son's lives are in danger. Your loved ones' lives are in danger. And this is going to be not just about talking about the isms. This is going to be talking about what we can do. And for all the activists who love to go on social media, I guess this is just my input. So this is an example, and then I'm going to tell you guys what needs to be done of what happened to me this year. I think it was this year. Yeah, it was this year. At my university, we had a student organization fair. And what are you talking about? What do we need to do? This is in response to all the killings that are happening and stuff like that. It's like something every day. And I went to the student organization fair. And I used to be a political science major. I'm not anymore. I went up to the booth for the Black Lawyers Association. So basically, it's a school group for Black kids who are political science majors, who are pre-law, who plan on being lawyers. Some of them, actually it wasn't the Black Lawyers, it was the Black Political Association organization, if I didn't say that. It was basically for Black people who want to be lawyers. It was for Black people who want to go into politics, who want to be lobbyists, who basically want to deal with the government and law. Those are the Black students that are in this organization. So I used to be a political science student association member, so I went up to them and I was just like, hey, so what's up? Like, how's the organization going? And they were like, oh, the secretary was there, a Black female, young Black female, who wants to be a lawyer. And there was another member, I think she was a vice president. And I think she did not want to be a lawyer. One of them wanted to be a lawyer, one of them did not want to be a lawyer. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, so I was like, okay, well, what are you guys doing? Like, what kind of meetings do you guys have? Tell me about your organization. And she was just kind of like, we have parties and we have talks and conferences where we pick topics and we talk about them. And then we have candlelight vigils when people die. So when people die, when we're being murdered, you have a candlelight vigil. Okay. When children are being slaughtered, you guys talk about it. And I said, okay, well, you know what? You've been here for 4 years, right? And she said, yes. I said, you guys are in the political science department. You guys are the next generation of Black politicians, Black lawyers, Black judges, Black lobbyists. You're the next generation. Am I correct? She was like, yes. And she said, seemed very proud of that. She's like, yeah, I've been interning with the blah, blah, blah office, some political member, I can't remember. And yeah, we're the next generation. I'm like, okay, so you've been here for 4 years. I said, during these 4 years of being in college, and based off of your, in-depth study of the U.S. legal system, some of the international legal systems, what have you guys done, or what strategies have you guys developed to deal with police brutality or just white supremacy in general, or institutional racism? What have you guys done? What have you guys strategized? Because they're college students, mind you. What have you guys strategized? What solutions have you guys developed? What steps, what have you done as a future class of politicians, lawyers? What have you guys been talking about? What have you guys been doing for the past 4 years? What has your education taught you that will aid us as Black Americans in this country? She looked at me, sorry that was drawn out, I know. She looked at me, she was just like, well, to be honest, we're not really there yet. I'm like, well, what do you mean you're not there yet? She's like, we don't really, she was embarrassed, of course. She was like, well, we don't really, we're just not there yet, and we just kind of talk and have, parties and events, and, we're just not there. You know what I'm saying? you should come and present some of these ideas. And I'm like, well, my major is in political science. I don't have your background. You mean to tell me out of all your members, none of you thought to, this 4 years of college, and some of you longer, none of you guys thought to study law or politics and use your knowledge, and in none of your meetings are you really using your legal knowledge or political knowledge to strategize, as you know, in about anything that can make our life here better. So nothing that you have learned will be applied to help us as an ethnic group advance. You have not been strategizing about any of our problems. In fact, they had a conference. They had like a little conference meeting they were going to have in 2 weeks dealing with immigration and about issues like people being against immigration for Hispanics. And I'm like, Black Americans are not immigrants. So why are you holding meetings about immigration? Immigration outside of you know what I'm saying? Like immigrant rights have absolutely nothing to do with Black Americans. We are not immigrants. Nothing that immigrants deal with has anything to do with us. So why is our organization holding talks to help immigrants, some of who are racist and prejudiced and who discriminate and kill us? Why are you focusing about how to help people who, when in their country, people who look like us are treated like crap? Because Afro-Latinos, for the most part, the darker you are treated like absolute crap. If you don't believe me, look at Dr. Henry Gates, Black in Latin America, or whatever. Look at the documentary series. Like, there's a reason why there's so much tension. You know what I'm saying? Like you're sitting here helping people who are prejudiced and who are actually our economic competitors. That's not, you know, they're competing with us economically and politically, and you're trying to do talks to help our competitors. Not enemies per se, but competitors, because we're competing. In this country, ethnic groups compete for resources. That's about power and stuff. I know some of you guys aren't. I'm hoping most of you are smart enough to know about that. And she just looked at me like, wow, like, and I'm just thinking to myself, so you're going to be a lawyer and you're going to be a something else, and you've been interning with a congressman or whoever, and not once did you think about how to do anything to help your community or Black women who look like you, or Black anybody who, so basically you do nothing. You're going to be useless. I was just like, I'm sorry. So basically, and I bet you, and I didn't say this. Now this is what I'm thinking. You know, Black parents, mothers, fathers, but I'm really talking to women because, you know, I feel like as a woman, it's our responsibility to deal with women in certain circumstances because we're women. You're sitting here sending your daughters to school to become educated. What use are they? And then when you have women being killed and murdered, and people are saying, "Where's the justice? Where's the justice?" You know what I'm saying? Like, when you talk to your children and see where their head is at, they need, especially those going into politics, you need to be raising your children not to just get an education to work for other people. You need to raise your children to get an education, to learn the system, so that they can strategize on how to change it for the better for us. Not for everybody else, for us. And hopefully, if it's better for us, it'll be better for them. But that's what you need to be raising your children to do. Helping non-Blacks does not help Black people. Because although there are nice non-Blacks who will be allies, who will wave, who will do tweets, that will not stop us from getting killed. That will not stop our murderers from getting, you know what I'm saying, from getting off. So somebody posted a question on Facebook and they said, what are we going to do about this? And I say to myself, historically, if you look at what happened historically when you know what I'm saying, when this happened, our organizations, our Black organizations, and as women, because I work with women, then I was just thinking the National Negro Council of Women, I'm not even going to say, what have you been doing? Because I just went on your website. So I see some of the things you've been doing. But in this time, like right now, we're dying. We're being murdered. And these people are getting off. They have loopholes. We're the National Black Association of Lawyers, all you Black female cops, all you Black female people in the army, all of you Black female politicians, all over the nation. Are you holding any rallies? Are you not even rallies? What are you doing? What are your connections good for? Are they good for you to get a bigger salary? Are you using your connections to make sure? And I'm just gonna put something out there. The legal system in any country is corrupt. Period. So all this isn't fair. Do you know how you make it in a corrupt legal system? You bribe people. You use your influence to get things done. So for those who consider themselves elite or educated in the black community, for those lawyers, for those politicians, what good are you really? Are you using your reputation to get donations or to get bought? Are you having people buy you and buy you gifts? Or are you buying out people that can help get these murderers in jail for life like they deserve to when they murder our children? Are you using for you police chiefs, female police chiefs, or wives of female police chiefs? Are you using your clout with your husband, or using your clout to get rid of the corruption in you know what I'm saying, in police stations? This is the time where, as a group, we have to go to those who look like us, who have the education, who have the skills, who have the connection, and hold them accountable for their knowledge. And we need, instead of propping them up and saying, yeah, you're a doctor now, but why are we so sick? Why is it that people have Doctors Without Borders that are being sent all over the world to help sick people all over the world, but our doctors are not going to, you know what I'm saying, working class or homeless shelter? You know what I'm saying? Why is that? We need to, so that's my solution. The black organizations that you're a part of, Black Lawyers Association, Black Psychologists, what are they doing in these situations? Why are these families having to do GoFundMe accounts to get lawyers? Why aren't organizations like the National Negro whatever they are, why aren't they using their dues to pay for these fees? Why aren't black female lawyers stepping up and saying, I will represent Sandra Bland's family. I will do it pro bono, whatever the heck they call it. I will do that because I'm not into the legal system. But for me, it's common sense. Like, why are people begging for money? Historically, if you study our history, historically, our organizations, like, God forbid, the NAACP, what a joke they are after that fraud, coon, imposter, that fake woman. They're just a joke. If you're still giving your money to these organizations in 2015, and they're not doing anything to address the issues that we're facing, they're not doing anything politically besides doing hashtags and naked protests and stuff. What the heck is a naked protest? People don't care. Okay, let me tell you something. People don't care. And even if every non-black person in the world cared, unless those who are guilty will be punished by those who care, it does not matter how many followers you have on Twitter. This hashtag activism doesn't keep you from dying. Those who do it need to be punished severely so that those who want to shut up and don't do it because they don't want to risk their family and they don't want to risk their lives and the futures of their children. That is how you keep this stuff from happening. And those who have the power and the clout, they need to be held accountable. Those who are celebrities, the ones who are balling, the athletes, they need to be given money to pay for the lawyers. You know what I'm saying? The athletes that you stalk on social media, you see all their games, who have millions of dollars, and they end up broke eventually. Well, some of them nowadays are getting smarter, but like they need to be, the elite or those with money in our community need to be stepping forward to make sure, to use their clout to make sure that these people are brought to justice. So that's just something I want you to think about. All this activism is a waste if nothing's done about it. You cannot force non-black people to do anything. What you can do, or what some of you watching, some of you celebrities, some of you waste all your money on material things. What you can do, if you really care, you can use some of your money or some of your influence, or both, to get things done politically. Because many of these bigots actually go to these football games, these basketball games. Many of the judges presiding over these, you know what I'm saying? Use your influence and your clout to get things done for us. Okay? Now, see how I didn't waste my energy ranting about how angry and upset and about racism and about sexism, all this stuff. I don't have to. I'm just getting straight to the point. If you're giving money to any of these black organizations and they are doing nothing besides doing this, if they're marching, that does nothing. If they're hashtagging, if they're tweeting, but they have used none of their funds to support these families legally, don't just give them money, legally get them the best lawyer they can to sue the crap out of them. And I'm going to tell you to do something, I'm not going to tell you to do it, but I'm going to suggest something that I've heard works. And I said this in my other video. What other people do, so I've heard, is other people, they bribe judges to get justice. Actually, they don't bribe judges to get justice. They bribe whoever they want to get what they want done, whether it's right or wrong. So for those who have money, are they wasting it on materialism, or are they bribing the political officials to get what we need as black people done? Because that's how it works. Because guess what? Ethics and morality and all that stuff, nobody cares. Nobody cares. You're dying. Your children are dying. And it doesn't matter who you believe in. It doesn't matter who you pray to. It doesn't matter how many protests you do. It doesn't matter how many hashtags. That's not going to do anything. Okay? Those in power, you need to be bought. Or if they're good people, they need to do the right thing. That's it. Just food for thought. And for you activists, instead of doing hashtags, instead of taking off your shirt, instead of following celebrities, instead of talking about colorist stuff, why don't you provoke these celebrities to use their money to get something done politically? Yeah, that's one way you can use social media. Start pressuring these celebrities to use their money and their influence to get things done for the black community. And I don't mean holding a concert. I don't mean starting a charity. I mean when things like the things that have been happening. When stuff like this happens, my skin looks so shiny. When stuff like this happens, they need to be using their clout, and they don't need to announce it. Don't have them announce it. These guys need to be put away for life. We don't need to know that you did it. Do it. Start doing it, celebrities. Start doing it, lawyers, politicians. Start using your influence to get things done behind closed doors. And here's another thing. For all you activists, how about just stop announcing all your plans on the internet? It makes it so much easier to manipulate the situation. It makes it so much easier for the media, the racist media, to spin it to get more viewings so they can get more money in their pockets. Stop announcing everything. It's just stupid. The best warfare is silent. Okay? That's all. Bye-bye.